today we have a very, very special guest with us. She is an amazing member of the community, one of the leaders in our community, actually. And I'm so pleased to welcome Sade to her first time on our live stream. Sade, just give a quick hello. Say hello.
Hi guys, I'm glad to be here and I'm really excited to go through this with y'all.
Awesome, awesome. So, what is today's topic? What is the topic today? Well, we have a lot of creatives and professionals in the community, and it's always been a constant discussion about like how can you get your first portfolio sites online? How can you share about yourself to everybody else out there and make sure that what you're sharing is not only engaging for them to see and appreciate your work, whether you're a creative looking to try to get clients, you're freelancing, or maybe you're just a professional that wants to get hired, right? Maybe you want your potential employer to look upon your resume, see what skill sets you have, and find you hireable. What can you do to quickly get a site out there? And Sade, right now, if we can share a bit about your background, you're a student, is that right?
Yeah. So currently I am taking a gap year because of Corona and a lot of other things, but I am going to be starting college this fall. So during this time, I've been doing a lot of work in internships and fellowships, and I definitely do believe that having a portfolio has helped me through this process.
Awesome. And normally when you're thinking about creating a portfolio site, like what are the options that come to mind? Like how would you create a portfolio site? And I guess did that experience seem daunting at all to you? Or like just what was your general experience regarding this whole building a portfolio, getting yourself out there, putting yourself online, like all that stuff can seem very scary, right?
Yeah, totally. It is definitely scary. So we're actually, working on this through Notion. And originally I had built a portfolio on the Wix website. And I do feel like Wix websites there are hard to keep up sometimes. And I had a hard time like just making a website that I was proud of. And it was a lot of extra work. So when building a portfolio, I wanted something that was easy to use, and Notion was the next step. So I went and made one on there, and I definitely think it's a great place to be.
Amazing. Yeah, so I think like the purpose of today's stream is to really demonstrate to any creative or professional out there that if you want to create a website and just have a public online presence that you can refer anybody to and say, hey, this is what I stand for, this is who I am, this is what I've done, these are the things I've accomplished, to make it really simple and easy for anybody to be able to build this within, let's say, 1 hour, right? The course of today's live stream. And also if you're able to create and express yourself online, I just think that there's just so many ways that you can apply this skill set and demonstrate your prowess or skill set over to other potential people who be interested in your work. And I just think that it's really important for us to note like what can Notion do and what can't Notion do. Why do we even want to use Notion to start? Well, Sade has mentioned that Wix is an example of a website builder. There's also examples like WordPress, Squarespace, and there's also like examples like even Webflow, right? Webflow is a bit more complicated, but I think all of them together, you can kind of understand that the maintenance gets a bit much, right? Even though it's kind of drag and drop, it's not extremely easy. One could argue there's too many options. If you're looking to get like just a basic form of yourself out there, it might have too many options for you to consider, and you might get lost and you might get stuck and you might get frustrated by the many different things you could do and you're not sure what you should do. And I think as a general whole, like it doesn't serve as a good ground to create a MVP, a minimal viable product. And usually when you're first trying to put yourself online, you definitely need to have a version of your site that you can quickly send out, quickly test, quickly release again, and just make sure that every time you're releasing it, you're making it better. And again, I just think Notion is the best way to do that because you can just go in, drag and drop, and everything just updates live, right? And of course, if you're already a Notion user for your personal life management, or if you just use end user systems for a simple to-do list even, you have a lot of understanding of how the page works, of how you can move blocks around. And today I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to move every block around to the way that you want to see it, using lovely Sade as an example. She's going to be also telling us exactly what she would want of a portfolio, hopefully representing many of you out there in the crowd. And I'm really excited to start on that process and that journey. Sade, what do you think? Are we ready?
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. So I'm switching over to this view, and as you guys all know, I want to be very clear on the why, what's, and hows before we start any build. The reason behind this, and this is something that I hope to impart upon all of you guys, and especially everybody watching the chat. Hello, I see all you guys' chats. Make sure you let us know what you want to see in your portfolio as well, so we can include it in this build. We want to make this as collaborative as possible. We want to make sure that you guys are all captured holistically, and we're building something that eventually you can take home with you and enjoy for yourself. So let's talk about the why. Why do we want to build a portfolio, and also why on Notion? Sade, do you have any comments?
Yeah, totally. So we want to build a portfolio on Notion because it's super simple, as Conrad said earlier, and we can make it quickly in like less than an hour, which I think is amazing. So you don't have to spend your whole day working on it.
I love it. So basically, website development tools can be very complex, and we can easily create a site, create maybe and publish a site in Notion. Maybe even talking about price, right? We're looking to get paid by putting a portfolio site out there, but many of these development tools you need to pay, right? Of course, you can use the free Wix versions and free, WordPress versions and all that, but generally it's complex, and you do need to pay a bit more than just a nice price tag of free on Notion. So we need a free and cheap way to quickly publish online. Awesome. So what do we want to accomplish? What is the outcome for anybody watching the stream? After they finish watching, what do we hope that they can take away from this that will then give them new life moving forward, perhaps, so we can say it like that?
Yeah, so I think it'll definitely be the motivation to get started. It seems so daunting. And with this Notion template that we're making, it's supposed to help you to get started on that process.
I like that a lot. So like basically the motivation to put yourself out there because it's just so easy, right? We can also have like a quick and easy process to create, produce, and publish a website that demonstrates their skill set, projects they've worked on, services offered, etc. I also think it'll be really important to showcase like how you can potentially have different ways of following up. So not just having a basic site, but even how do you include like a form, right, to capture people's emails? How do you include things like, analytics, so you can know like who's seeing what part of your page and why are they dropping off, right? All those different things I think could be really cool. So like, analytics, right? Analytics, and definitely other stuff like, just different ways of seeing all the different inputs that come into your site, and seeing like how they can also be modified, and so not modified, but like captured and understood, so that you can make your site better and better as you go on forward. So I think definitely is really important, giving you confidence in your abilities, connections with other media. I think all those things are amazing stuff. So analytics and other ways to engage and excite your audience. And Sade, what do you think about the how? Like, what different hows could we have? Like, how could we build this out?
Yeah. So I guess one more thing I have to say on the what is you could also use it for, potentially capturing emails. I know like even your main website that is, for capturing people has that. And I definitely think that's an interesting way to use your Notion page, which can also go into the how you might use it. So some people may like add Calendly links to have people maybe schedule appointments with them, and just grow an overall presence by adding portfolio pieces that they've done in the past. Like on mine specifically, I did an investment memo and I put on there because I'm interested in going into the venture capital space. So showing off my skills helps people to understand that I do have experience already.
I like that. I like that a lot. So basically, like, having so like if I break down like the components of a site, right? Let's talk about that for a second. We definitely need like a hero section, right? We definitely need a way to showcase like this is who I am and these are the main things you should know about me, kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So you would have your skill sets, core competencies, accolades, maybe even accolades. We would even have like a project section, so we can show off the different projects we worked on. Services offered, I think is great. Services offered. We can even have links for more info. And I actually thought of a really cool thing. Like, I think everybody is starting to use things like Linktree. So Linktree is basically, if you guys aren't familiar, is a way for you to easily link someone all your different work, meaning that this is a page where you can find my Instagram. This is a page where you can find my Facebook. This is a page where you can find like all the different links to different social medias that I use. And I was just thinking, like, if we can teach people how to make a link tree of their own on Notion with their own custom domain, or even with like a bit.ly link perhaps, that makes it really easy for anybody to be able to just quickly share a quick snapshot of themselves. Like maybe like it's going to be like a quick page, like a quick links, and then we can also have a full page that shows the whole portfolio. I think that could be really fun. So let's use that. So we can have quick links for more info, and then probably just a bigger about me section as well. What do you think? Do you think that's all the house?
Yeah, and in the about me section, some of the things that I would consider adding in that section are things such as like what your mission statement is, like how you want to impact the world, and your values. I think that definitely shows to an employer or anybody you potentially want to work with, like what's important to you and how your mission can connect with them.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Okay, so now that we've really hashed out all these why, what's, and hows, we're gonna put, let's say, 1 hour on the clock, and we're gonna say in 1 hour we're going to try to build out everything that we've discussed here and ensure that everybody who's watching this stream and also watching later on the recording can understand exactly how they can put themselves all together, right? How they can present themselves in the best way possible and in a way that they want, because we're going to be demonstrating to you exactly how you can drag and drop different elements, how can you work with different components in Notion, whether they be embeds, whether it be callouts, quote blocks, anything, and explain to you exactly the details of why I'm using a certain components over another one. And hopefully we can have good debates going on with Sade as well, because she also has a brilliant creative mind, and I'm excited to work with her on this. Awesome. So I'm going to start with a brand new page. It's just a brand new page, untitled. And I'm going to explain the first step that you can do. And by the way, if you want to make a brand new page, you can always just go to the sidebar and you can click on the plus buttons anywhere you see. And a plus button just adds a new page. And for me, I've just made a new untitled page. Simple as that. So when you first come to a page, you have the options to choose whether you want to start a database or you want to start an empty page with an icon, or just an empty page at all. You can just start with an empty page. So when you do empty page, basically you can just start typing stuff into there and you can start planning out your page. What I love to do, and what I recommend you also do, is you start off with drafting out the different sections that you want to work on and then visualizing how you might want to see everything before you even put any content in. Content in is good to start testing out your ideas and seeing where, like, how your wordings kind of fit in each section. But it's first really important for you to try to visualize how you might want to see the whole thing. So for example, I talked about having a few different sections. We have a hero section, right? We have a quick link section. We have a project section. We will have an about us section. And what else do you think we should section off, Shade?
Yeah, I think you covered most of them, as well as you said project section, service section. Yeah.
Services, maybe. Services, which will include like the Calendly links, right? Calendly or a contact us form. I think that's really good. And by the way, guys, let me know in the chat, like, what kind of portfolio you're looking to build. Like, what kind of creative are you, a professional, and what kind of work would you want to showcase, so that I can also talk about, if you wanted to showcase those kind of things, how would we do it as well? Okay, so make sure we do that. Okay, so usually for the title, you would put your name. So your name here is probably gonna, I'll just put that there for now. We're gonna personalize this with an actual example, Sade, during this call. But just wanted to just put some placeholders there for all of us to kind of understand where things will go. There's one concept here that I want to explain that we can do. It's called changing everything to full width. And basically what this button does is that when you push this button, the whole page expands and you're using the full width of the page. Now, I used to like this a lot. I used to use this everywhere, but recent times I've stopped using full width, and the reason is because when you're watching this page on a screen with larger resolution, it starts getting really wonky if you don't fit it towards a fixed width. Additionally, when you start planning out for the full width size, you might end up crowding the page. And when you crowd the page, you forget that when you start looking on it again in a smaller screen, whether it be a smaller tablet or even just a mobile device, things may look very different than what you had expected. So I like to build everything in fixed width, which is just the full width not toggled on, because it makes it easier for me to be able to go and see exactly how it'll look on all devices. And that's something that's very important as a quick hack and tip for you to work on. So with that in mind, Sade, where would you want to put everything? I want to hear your input first before I start dragging things around.
Yeah, so I definitely would probably put my profile image like on the right side and my About Us section on the left side, and have them like next to each other. You understand? Oh.
So you have a profile image here, and then so the profile image, so how we can do, you can usually copy and paste an image into here, but what you can also do is you can just type slash and then you type image, and basically you can upload an image from your computer as well. Shall we use your image, Sade, or should we use a generic Unsplash image? It's up to you.
I'm fine with either. We can use my image if you want to.
Sure. Just upload an image that you'd like, and then we can start from there. And I want to also explain something about the hero section. What is a hero section? Well, hero basically means it's the first thing that you see when you land into the page, and it's the first thing that you understand about what the contents of the page whenever you go to any website. So usually it's anything that is going to be the first thing that stands out to you, and the first thing that you notice, and the first thing you see before you scroll down, and we call it below the fold. So when you scroll out of the hero section, scroll below the hero section, you basically go below the fold and you start reading out everything else that's in there. Okay, so you see that I've sectioned off this by putting like a little hero section at the bottom here. This is just to remind myself that everything above here is going to be everybody when they land is what they see, and then only when they scroll down, then they get to see the rest of this page. So we have to make the first interaction as engaging as possible and as friendly as possible, so that people are willing to continue scrolling and continue reading, because everybody has really low attention span on the internet. There's just so much to read, right? So we can have a section on the left side here that explains, who you are, what you're about, or just your biggest message that you want to share to other people. Sade, what would you put here? What do you feel about this?
So for the About Me section, I feel like a big emphasis for me right now in my life would be with that I'm currently taking a gap year and my internships in investing. And then outside of work, I'm also interested in sustainability and looking into the fashion industry. So those are like the big three topics that are interesting to me right now, or like make up who I am.
I love it. So a few things I'm doing here, and I'm moving a bit fast, so I do want to explain it quickly before I go, is that I added an icon here. So I'm going to undo that just to show you. I add icon here because when you add an icon, actually your Notion page, like in the top, how do I call it? In the tab, when you open your Notion page, the icon that you set here is actually going to be the icon that shows up as the page fave icon, which basically means that it's going to be the icon that follows this website around, whether you look on it on Google or when you're forwarding it on over, you know, a messenger or WhatsApp. Basically, this is the icon that represents the page. So basically, this is the way that you can see that you can easily go and, you know, pull out different icons that represent what you want to talk about and who you are. So this might be an image of you, this might be an icon, this might be a pen, whatever, if you're a writer, right? It just really depends exactly what you want to utilize to represent your best self. So that's something that's really important, and you have to remember that. So Sade, what kind of icon would you like? Or would you like to put an image, put an icon, or what have you?
Let me look at the icons for a second, but I'll probably go with an icon.
Awesome.
I love emojis.
Yeah, amazing. And another hack that I want to show you guys, if you guys want to start a quote inside your page, which I'm using a quote right now, you can definitely just use the quotation block here, so the quote, and then you press space, and then instantly you make an empty quote block. So I think that's a really cool hack to easily just navigate and work around in Notion. But anyway, so what I recommend, you can do two things, Sade, and I'll give you two options. Basically, you can say, you know, this is my best work, blah, 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 blah. Or what I recently have liked using is, you know, something like this. My passions are, and then we can change this to have a color, are blank. Actually, can you just give me some content? Maybe I'll work around your content, and that's better.
Yeah. I'd say sustainability, community, and I like to travel.
Sustainability, community,
Travel.
and travel. Lovely. Okay, so why I like the header instead, by the way, is because I want to use this like this. I want to be able to basically make it so that it really stands out. Whereas when you use a quote block in Notion, it doesn't stand out as much as you'd like. So my best take on this is you can either use header 1 or header 2. I like header 1 for this. I think it just fits better with this. And I might put something down here that just is like the quick links for anybody to be able to easily access different parts of what you might want to share. Again, Instagram, Facebook, or stuff like that. So Sade, what would you like to put? What are the different things you're going to put down right here?
So for me, I would probably put my Twitter, LinkedIn, email, and a calendar link.
Schedule me, something like that, right? So the really cool thing is that obviously right here, this looks really boring, right? I just have 4 plain no text, right? Twitter, LinkedIn, email, schedule me. How can we make this more exciting? Okay, I'm going to show you guys. So I like doing something called callouts here, okay? And the cool thing about callouts is that you can actually customize them to look like a button. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly like a button. I'm not going to say that it's perfect, but you can definitely make it look very, very nice. So for example, if I put Twitter here, okay, and I'm going to change this over to be blue, and now I'm going to bold this. And as well, I'm going to change the icon to be a Twitter icon. Let's see if I can have one in my storage already. If not, I'll just go and find a Twitter icon online, but let me just quickly see. I do have a Twitter icon, but it's green, so I want to find one that's normal. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess I'll even show you how to find an icon, okay? So basically what you can do is you can go to a site called Icons 8, Icons 8, and in Icons 8, you can find a lot of icons that fit whatever aesthetic you're going for. So here, I might go for Twitter, right? I'm looking for Twitter. And by the way, Cass, I see like your message. I'll get to it when we get to the skills. That's a really good discussion, and I do want to get to that. So don't worry, I haven't missed it. Okay. Do you want to try pastel? This looks really cute. I like this pastel. What do you think?
Yeah, pastels are my favorite, so totally.
Okay, cool. So you can either get the embed HTML or you can download the actual icon. So when you download the icon, what you can do here, oh, it's asking me to register. Okay, let's see. I have to use my account. Give me one quick second. I'm going to just quickly log into this. So give me 1 second. I'll pull it over to here. And then I'll make sure that I can log in. So let me grab the icons 8 login for myself. Yeah, so it's a free account. It's really easy, but basically it gives you a chance to just grab some really beautiful icons like I've just shown here. So, but in the meantime, Sade, can you help me create some more callouts, just like in the way I've done them, and just pick the right color that you think fits LinkedIn, fits emails, and fits the schedule me as well. Okay. Oh, I need to log in. Okay, perfect. So I've just logged in and I want to show you how that kind of looks. So when I log in, then you can ask you, like, you can download a PNG. Again, any size is fine, but if you want to, larger is usually better, because Notion will scale it down anyway when you upload it into their system. So for now, I'm going to download this large one, and then I'm going to just save it into my downloads folder. I'm also, while I'm here and while Sade is getting the rest of things, I'm also going to pull up the LinkedIn one. So LinkedIn Pastel, let's go. And I'm also going to just make sure I am here in Pastel. I'm going to do LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is here. And then I also want to find the same style. Ideally, we can find a whole family for Pastel. So I'm just trying to find out how to do that quickly. So we're going to go here. Okay, Pastel. So we go to all the Pastel ones. And then we're going to see what it says here and see what else we can grab. Okay, so for Pastel, we can see logos. We can see things like, let's see, we have WhatsApp even, perfect, if we want to use WhatsApp. There's Instagram, there's Facebook. There's no LinkedIn, unfortunately. But so what else would you put? You're putting Twitter, LinkedIn, email, schedule me. Okay, for now, let's just use some other images. We'll find more to make them all look aligned later. But let's do LinkedIn as well. And LinkedIn could be under all types. So we can just search all. And then LinkedIn then looks like here. And we can see that we have LinkedIn. Let's say we use this one. Is that good?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, it's just simple. That doesn't need to be any complex things. Awesome. And then we have LinkedIn here. And then what we can do is also email. So I think email, this one's gonna be easy. We'll find something like in 10 seconds. And then email could be something like, let's say, I think we're just going with the blue theme. So let's do this blue theme right here. Again, things are not going to look too seamless. I ideally want everything from one icon pack, but for now, since we're just picking a few things out of the box, we're going to use this. And the schedule me, maybe a calendar will look good. Calendar look good. Awesome. So we can do a calendar here, and then we can just do something like this one, perhaps. And then I'm going to download this, and everything's just going to be blue. Oh my God, it's animated. This is so cool. Okay, so I want to show you guys something really cool, is that you can actually have animated GIFs inside your Notion page as well. I actually take advantage of it a lot. So let me show you how that kind of looks. And this will be really cool because it means that at the final one, it's very engaging. Okay, so let me do the Twitter one step by step. So Twitter will basically have a cute little birdie. LinkedIn will have a nice little LinkedIn IN. So we have that right here. And then for email, we're going to have this right here. We're going to upload this. It's going to be an email. Let's see. Perfect. And finally, for the last one, for the schedule me, we're going to have this behave like the GIF. Awesome. Okay. So what we can do here now is then we can add the links, right? And you can add the links later if you want. But look at this. That's so engaging. Do you see that? That schedule me looks so good. Oh my gosh. That looks amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Okay. So I guess just to make things kind of fit, we can put a little wording here. check me out maybe, and then we have a pointing down. But whatever wordings you want actually can fit right here. But basically, it's just a way to add some additional flair into this page, right into here. Or find me on social media. What would you put here? Let me ask you maybe.
Yeah, I probably like something like find me on social media. I like that better.
Okay, find me on social media. Awesome, awesome. And then basically now we can see that it's already looking beautiful. Like honestly, I already like it a lot. Awesome. Okay, so that's the hero page. Again, the hero page should engage, entice, and also should still give people a way to find more details about you instead of just clicking off. So having some links is definitely good, and you can already see that this is already much more beautiful than just a link tree, perhaps, for example, where you can all you see is a blank page with just links to go to different places, right? So next, what are the different sections we want to talk about? Well, the next thing is we probably want to show what kind of projects that we have, right? What kind of things that we've worked on. So we have a project section, and we can make a title here and says what I've been working on, right? And then I'm just gonna preemptively make the next thing is what my education, perhaps, right? You might want to share that, like where I've been studying. Maybe you might reword that to something a bit more fancy. That's completely up to you as well. So how would you want to present? Maybe give me a example of something that you've been working on that you want to put there. That would be good. Or maybe you even want to start with skills. Maybe let me know, like, do we start with skills first or your job experience?
Since we're already on job experience, we could do that one really quickly.
Okay, sure. No, I was just thinking about that because Kat had a really good question, and I do want to talk about that too. So
Yeah, totally. We can do experience first. That's fine with me, or skills.
okay. I was just thinking in terms of ordering, like, do you want to show skills first in before what you've been working on?
Yeah, I think that would work better.
Okay, cool. So let's put my skills and let's answer Cass's question, because Cass's question is actually pretty interesting. So she's asking, I'm curious how you both feel on including percentages within the skills development section. There's many debates about this. Shada, your first thought?
Yeah. So my first thought on that is I think it's an interesting thing because if you have multiple skills, like you may be really good at a skill that I need, and I know that you're working on different skills. It shows diversity and that you're not just focused on one thing, which I definitely think is interesting. So personally, for me, I feel like having skills is a great thing to put on.
Yeah, I think having skills is great. I think having percentages is a bit hard to do because I think that a lot of people put like, maybe 75% skills and in like, I don't know, something hardworking, 75%. Does that mean you're 25% lazy? Like it's a bit interesting, like how you might interpret that kind of percentage. And I'd say listing out your skills is great. And I'll also just say that perhaps I wouldn't use a percentage way of saying it, but just say like, I'm strong in this and I'm strong in that. And I can prove it because I've done this. There's this really cool portfolio site by my friend. His name is Lennon. He runs the Notion Australia, and he has a really cool way of presenting that information. I do want to just highlight that and show that to you guys because I think it's pretty cool. So what he did, let's see. I'm trying to find the site for you guys, and let's move it in. So he had a really interesting way of presenting it. I'm going to show you guys. So this is his portfolio, right? And basically what he did was he put his accolades here, and as well as what some social proof of what exactly, like how he's proven his excellence in it. So he, instead of saying like he's a photographer or he's good at photography, he's saying that, oh, he has over 50 million views on Unsplash, right? He's a writer. He's not only a writer, but he has over blank. So like he's trying to balance it out with some kind of social accolades. I think that's interesting. I think definitely that's a way that you could present it. Obviously, if you don't have those accolades yet, I'm not saying that you have to go this way because obviously you can't. But what I'm saying is that it's always good to demonstrate your skill set, but also share with people like why this skill set, like why do you think this is your skill set? Like what have you done with this skill set to make it really your own? And that's what I would like to present on a portfolio like this. Okay. So actually, this is interesting. Like I'm seeing that he actually doesn't have like titles, and we might actually want to try that out. So let's give me a few skills that you believe that you have, and we can put them in, and we can start making it a bit fancier. Hmm.
Yeah. So I would say a little bit of my skills would probably be writing, research, analytics.
Hmm.
Those
Okay.
would be like top three just off the top of my head.
Okay. Writing, research, analytics. And can you explain to me like what have you been doing in those fields that might show that you have some excellence in this?
Mhm. So for writing, I'm currently working on a book about blockchain that shows the ecosystem for beginners who don't necessarily know how to code. I'm really excited for
Hmm.
that. It'll probably come out in December. So that's a lot of what I've been doing writing wise,
Yeah.
working to start building up a newsletter. And then for research, that goes more into my investing because I
Mhm.
do a wealth management portfolio and I have to do a lot of research when it comes to like creating a beginner's course and like how to get people engaged in the field who don't necessarily come from a background who can just start investing right away or even know about it.
So you say a researcher in, um, is there a specific word for this other than just investments? Um,
Um, I'm right now I'm called like a business analyst intern, so I'm just like analyzing the different ways that I can like help get people into the field and learn about it. But I'm not sure which word to use for that.
Interesting. And by the way, what I'm thinking about here and why I'm bolding these things is that I think eventually you also would want to put like a link onto it so that like people can perhaps pre-order your book or people can find out like a brief like abstract of what the book's about, sign up for the wait list. Like these are the interesting things that people would like to know more about. And then therefore, not only are you proving your excellence in one of these skill sets, but you're also showing that you're working actively to improve that skill set and make yourself better and better. So I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, but like maybe a researcher in, um, I don't know. Can you try again? Yeah.
Maybe not even researcher for that one. I was just thinking in general for like my skill sets, but maybe we wouldn't even use the investing one for research. Maybe like I do a lot of research when it comes to like finding interesting companies because I'm also interested in private investing, so like venture capital. So I'm like learn about companies and sustainability. I don't know if that works any better.
Oh, researcher for sustainable um, companies,
Yeah,
something
because
like
my friend,
that.
we
Yeah.
do have a Notion page. It's called Etherealism, and
Mm,
we write about sustainability and like the fashion industry and things like that.
I love that. I love that. So then that becomes a link here, right? So researcher for sustainable companies with etherealism. I love that. And then last one is analytics.
Mm. Yeah, so I guess that one was definitely back to my current job, and I guess that one would be good because I do a lot of research or I analyze the information of like how our stocks are doing from month to month,
Mm-hmm.
how we can grow them, which stocks to get into. So there's stuff around that.
Okay, so um, researcher for on sustainable companies,
Mm.
researching sustainable companies with tourism. Uh,
I don't know, company investments. I
Detail
don't know.
oriented, no, like so you see the cool thing, right? So normally you might say I'm detail orientated, right, if you want to put
Mhm.
yourself on a resume. But what I'm trying to present here is how can you present that you're detail orientated by showing like proof that you have good analytics, which comes with analytical ability, which comes with being detail orientated. I think that's the really cool
Mhm.
thing about wording things this way, right? Okay, so um, I'm just trying to think of the best way to word this. So analytics um, for the best companies to invest in, you're saying? Hmm.
Yeah, and like how our companies are currently doing. So it's a lot of just Excel work. So I work with Excel a lot and have to learn pivot tables and things like that.
Yeah.
So trying to get
Maybe
there.
analytics and Excel, wizard. I don't know. Something like
I
that.
would, I'm working on the wizard part. Excel is definitely something else.
All good. Okay, anyway, but I just want to put something like as an example. But essentially, what you could do later on is you can use this as a link, and then you can showcase like a blog that you wrote about in terms of Excel. And again, this makes it really easy for you to showcase exactly what you do, why you do, and how you do. That's my opinion here. Cool. Another thing that you can do here, and this is just my personal like kind of like configuring, is I might do something like this, and just to make it look a bit pretty, so we can have like a little like tab in. I'm not sure. Do you think that looks better or worse?
I like it, and I feel like if you had those little slightly gray lines right above it and right below it, I like that.
So like the dividers, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how you add dividers, /div. Okay, so that's how you add dividers. And I can Control or Command D for the divider block, and I can make it so that I have another divider duplicated below. So simple as that. Really cool. There's a little bit of like, it's not perfect, but anyway, we'll figure it out later. Awesome. So what we can do next here is I guess this kind of encapsulates what I've been working on, right? But then I can also, instead of saying like, because this is like your main projects, right? I want to combine your education and projects in one place. What would you call that? What would you call something that combines education and projects?
Education and projects. I don't know. I feel like my education is still working on that one anyway, seeing I haven't started college yet. I am taking a gap year.
Maybe we can say my experience then. My experience. I like that better. And then for my experience, what you can do, actually, I'm going to put like only let's try to think of the best way to do this one. I might even just make everything small text. And hear me out. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Awesome. Okay, so my experience, basically, I'll give you a format and you can start plugging like maybe just 3 things in, and then we'll go from there. But basically, this is the company name, job title, tenure, right? So from 20XX to 20XX. And then this can be put into here. Job title puts into here. And then you might even want like a description of what you did there. And then I'm just trying to think the best way. Okay, I'll give me an example and then we'll reconfigure it a bit.
So just an example of one of my internships my experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
So from September to November 2020, I worked as an intern for a company called Ven Capital, VEN. I'll just spell it out in the company's name section.
Yeah, you can type it out. Yeah, go ahead.
Ven Capital.
Yeah.
Intern.
But you said it was a business analyst intern?
No, so for this one, I was definitely I was doing a lot of work when it comes to operations.
Okay, so can you write that operations intern perhaps? Like it's good to be specific. Okay, so what we can do here, we can do operations intern, and he described like just in a few sentences what you did there, or maybe at 1 sentence or 2.
So I sent out the weekly emails that alerted everybody for when programs were. I helped to schedule meetings for my boss, and I was heavily involved in the community events.
Okay. Maybe you can type a little bit out, and then I'm going to explain to everybody else watching the stream what else you can put here to make it really stand out. So things that I would recommend is definitely putting stuff like the company's logo into there, especially if it's a company that people really know. I also recommend putting like pictures of like what you specifically did, like some kind of portfolio, right? We talked about having like a projects page, a portfolio page. Right now, what we've done here is kind of give like a glimpse of what projects you're working on. But eventually we actually want like a proper like gallery view of all the projects that you've been involved in, and therefore you can see exactly how like the time lapse view of everything you've done. So what I recommend here is I might do a gallery view just to start you off. And this gallery view is going to be a table, right? So not a table, but it's a database rather. And you can make the card size small so you can kind of just see everything. And what we can call this instead is, I'm just thinking the best way. I'm just thinking like, maybe we can do something about all my experiences. We'll have a learn more button somewhere. So let's do a learn more button. And we'll do a learn more. So we'll do a call out, and then we'll do learn more. And this learn more button can live on this side. And then we can say this was September, right? 2020.
Yes.
Okay, actually I'll do the learn more just normally. Learn more, it's like that. And then what we can do here is, and of course everybody can reword these to make it sound better. And again, the beautiful thing about Notion is that you can just reword it anything at any time you want, and then you can be easily able to update the site. Again, this site is already pretty much like the top part already looks amazing. We're just figuring out the bottom part, right? And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put in, like, I think what you should do, and this is just my suggestion, is having like your top 3 experiences just showcased in this like line format. And then we'll also have like an all my experiences that just shows everything if they ever want to scroll through it all and just learn more about everything that you've ever done. And that's going to be on a different page. Okay. So for now, can I get you to add on more details about the other 2 experiences, like maybe like your education as well, and maybe like your one more, yeah, maybe just education. We'll just do 2. One more about your education. Yeah.
During high school, like
You can put like your upcoming education.
okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna put USC because I'm gonna get accepted next month. So.
Awesome. that's the confidence we need.
Yes. Yeah. I had my interview on Monday, so I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Energy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. USC fall 2021. And what else would you want me to put if I haven't started my college yet?
I think that's fine. That's the college you're going to, so that's perfectly fine. I'm also thinking about how to like make it look really pretty. So I'm thinking about something like this. And then, do you have the logo for their company? Can you find out their logo for their company there?
I totally do that.
Yeah. And I'm going to make a template block for everybody who's going to be taking on this this template to make it really easy for anybody to just take it on and continue building new experiences without having to learn too much about exactly how to drag and drop. Again, I think that's a very, very valuable skill, but in case that you need help doing that, I'm just going to quickly make a template block for you. So template button, and we're going to say new experience. And then I'm going to put that into here. I'm going to do a page here quickly so this is a hack, okay? Basically, normally inside a toggle block, inside a template block, inside even a column, you can't have another column within a column. So what you can do to make this hack work is you create just a new page, you make a column A, column B, okay? And you can make more than just 2 columns. You can make 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. But this is the hack to create a column within this template block. So what you can do is you can put that into here, you turn this into a text, and now you have the columns inside this page. So what you can do from here is you can just drag this into this section, rather do this section, and then you can have that column within a template block. And what you can do here is you can just drag this to the right, and then we'll just copy this section. and we can put that there. And then basically we can see that. So month, year, year. And then what we can have here is, actually we can do MMM like this. And then here is going to be company. And then we have position. By the way, hi Drew, amazing to see you here. Drew, there's a question from Drew for you.
Sorry.
First,
But do you have any that showcase some of the work you did or your personality on the job? So I don't currently have any videos that really do that, but over the summer I did do this. It was kind of like an internship, I would say. It was more of just an overall experience, and I had a mentor, and she had me create this 1-minute elevator pitch that she made me post on my LinkedIn when I was first looking for internship opportunities. And it was all about just talking about the top 3 skills that you have, what you want to go into, and why you deserve to go into it. And it was actually pretty effective. Over 1,000 people viewed it, and I even had like a CEO of a what was he was like the CEO of some engineering company. He's like, I'd love to have you on board. It didn't work out because he was engineering. I don't know how to engineer. But I think the idea behind that is, if you do make a video and you put it on LinkedIn, those are actually very powerful.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. That's what I wanted to get to, actually, is that when you see all of my experiences, I hope that you have like pictures and videos that kind of showcase what you did during that time, like different social proofs that explain like what you've been up to at those certain job experiences. Of course, also you would have properties here that says like, you know, dates, right? The role, and eventually this just becomes a really nice resume for yourself, because you're able to see everything that you've done over the course of your life. So you can see, like, for example, this would also have things like job description or job title, right? And then you might even have references here if you want references. So people want to contact your different references, how they can do that if they would like. So it just really makes it easy for you to go and find out more information about yourself. So you see that I actually created a new block for you called New Experience. If you click on this, instantly you can see like new position pops up. So now you can put the USC Fall 2021 into there with the current faculty that you're applying for and stuff like that. I think that'll be quite fun. Yeah. So while you're doing that, I'm going to just continue doing this. So this is USC, and then we can put more pictures and everything in there. Again, the beauty of it is that once you put more, so example experience, and for the example experience, I'm just going to do some images there. I'm going to take it from Unsplash just to show everybody else what the examples could be. So for example, we can put like some kind of startup here. This is an example of like you working at a startup perhaps. So maybe you have like this image here, which I'm going to copy. So copy image. And I'm just going to put the image into the page here. And then I'm also going to just keep going. And again, the beauty of this is that I'm just trying to show you, like, for anybody who's looking to build in Notion their very first portfolio. Right now it's only been 45 minutes in, barely, and we already have something like really awesome and almost done. So it just makes it really easy for you to kind of see, like, this is how you kind of learn how to move things around, learn different hacks and tricks that you can use with Notion, and just really make a really amazing portfolio site for yourself to benefit from and use. So we can see that there is now 2 images here. So example experience is there. Again, you can put like an icon that represents that experience. Maybe this is a star or something. I'm not sure. It's just an example. And normally you would put like the company or the school logo if you have that. And of course, you can also have like the different dates that you were there. So you can show the property, you can show the dates. You might even want to show the job title. I'm going to do one more thing that makes a tag. I'm going to add a tag here. And this tag is something that you can do to also represent if this is like a, you know, work position. Was this a project? Was this, you know, a education? So for example, this is internship, right? Or I'll just call it work experience. And then the next one, so I'm going to add the property. I'm going to show the tag. work experience. You see it's education. And then you'd have this that says maybe it's a work experience as well, or project, maybe project. So it just makes it really easy for you to go in and add more details about your experience and just show other people into your space. And the beauty of the learn more buttons is now you can copy the link for this pop-up, right? And then I'm going to paste it into the learn more to make a link for that. Same thing for USC. I'm just going to go to the link. I'm going to paste it into here. And then I'm going to now also just make sure that we can add things like this. So we can say, I'm just going to add random images for you. But of course you can update this later. Let's say I put a picture of a meeting for Venn Capital. Picture of a meeting. And then for the USC, I'm going to put a picture of the campus, of a school campus, perhaps.
Beautiful.
Yeah, school campus. So again, that's really fun. We can do that, and maybe we just do like a nice engaging picture of a school campus. Awesome. So you already see it as an example. We already have so many beautiful things. Could you also upload the icon for USC and Venn Capital into the two cards that we see here?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then what I'm going to do while she's doing that, I'm going to now just finish the last section. So we might have a more about me if you want to, just really like a blurb about yourself. So we can say, more about me, and then what we can do here, let's see, we can have all my experiences. That shows up like that. Perfect. And by the way, if you want to show this in the list view, maybe because you're more used to the whole notion of having like a list by list view instead of having different cards, what we can do is add a list view here, right? And essentially what we can do is we can sort it by the date, so we can see like when was your most recent experience. And then you can also add properties here that show the tag, like how we showed before, as well as the job title, etc. And again, it becomes really easy for anybody to see like, hey, these are your most recent experiences. These are all my experiences that you can read and see as well. So this makes it really cool. The more about me, I think, Sade, if you have more blurbs for yourself, I would love to just throw it in here. You can just copy and paste it. We don't need to rewrite that from scratch. But basically just showing like we can add another image and then give more details about who you are as a person, right? And then when you're ready for that, I'll move to the next step.
Just a random blurb by. Oh.
Yeah, take your time. And I'm also going to drag something over that I really like. It's just something that I use personally for my sites, and I love it because it helps me remember that I'm above the fold and go below the fold. So I think that's really cool. And yeah, Drew, by the way, feel free, share a link to your portfolio resume. I want to see all sorts of examples. Please do. Sade, while you're at this, help us throw an image in there as well when you have a chance. Yeah.
Choose an image.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm trying to find my little blurb. Give me a second. So do, let's see, how can I find this? Let's go to Notion. Let's go to my recent pages. I'm trying to find, yeah, it's fine. Okay, we'll do it later. Okay, cool. So all we're missing after that is going to be the services. Yeah, Drew, I remember. But I think it's good. I think it'll be awesome to show more examples. Perfect. I love this. And later on, we can also bold different things that you want people to read really quickly if they are just skimming, if they want to see exactly what you stand for. So create a better tomorrow might be something that you want to bold right here. And then what you're passionate about, the intersection of fashion with technology, generational wealth and, like that stuff. I think that's really cool. And then you can basically just make sure these are all standout things. And then finally, what I want to put at the bottom here, and I'm going to show basically schedule me, right? That's what you want as a call to action. So schedule me. So there's a few ways of doing schedule me's. I mentioned there's a Calendly, there's also a contact form. Can you show me your Calendly link, Sade, and I can show you how to embed it? Or if you already have the embed link, then that works as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take your thing and I'm going to just make it into a proper link. Okay, so basically when you sign up for Calendly, or actually I currently use x.ai because they're both relatively similar processes, and x.ai is just working better for me. But basically it's a free calendar software, calendar scheduling software, where you can create an embed like this that anybody can come on and be able to book a specific time with you and then add details on why they want to meet and etc. So it makes it really easy for people to see your availability on your calendar and also book time with you. But sometimes you might also just want people to leave a contact message and something that you can respond to through email. So I'm also going to quickly showcase how that looks as well. And then after we do that, I'm going to walk you through and showcase some comparisons between this site and other sites that are also portfolio sites like Drew's. He mentioned in the chat he wants to show his off. I think that's awesome. Let's do that as a way to also give just some compare and contrast, right? So I'm also going to just quickly show you how Chili Pepper works, because I think Chili Peppers has an awesome team and what they're doing is great and it's all free, so why not? So if you go to chilipepper.io, and that's CHILIPEPPER, you can create a form. So when you create a form, basically you can add a lot of details into the form. For example, what is your name? We can say, etc. is John Doe. What is your inquiry, perhaps? So we can put inquiry. What is your inquiry? And then we can say, I want to hire you. I don't know, just an example. Okay. Example, another one is, how can we reach you? How can contact? What is your contact email? And then we can say abc@company.com, and then this can become an email form, and you can even add like a phone number, right? Phone. What is your phone number? Oops, I pressed the wrong button. And we can also see what is your phone number. And then basically here, we can also ask this, right? So example, 1-800, 000. Doesn't really matter, right? And let's have an example here. And then this is going to be phone number, and this is not required. I know I'm going a bit faster, but I just want to show you like the power of what can happen. And I'm going to use blue just because everything looks blue right now on this site. So therefore I'm going to use blue, and I'm going to say this is optional. So they know that this is optional and they don't have to worry about it if they don't have it. Okay. Would you add anything else on this contact form, Sade?
I think the contact form looks good. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so how do we get this working, right? We press next. We can connect to a Notion table, right? Which I think is awesome. You should definitely do that. So you have a Notion table that tracks like all your incoming leads, and you can add more information about them. Actually, let me show you that, so then I can show you like how you create a backend as well. So let me just quickly show you. So this is the front end, right? So I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to call this portfolio website. We're going to call this the front end. We're going to call it the back end. Basically, front end is everything. Every front end is everything the audience sees, or the public sees. What you see. Okay, so the importance of this, why I want to create a front end and a back end, is because it makes it super easy for you to segregate like what specifically you're going to show to the world and what is going to be in the back that helps you manage everything, right? So I might have an example here that says, well, I have a page here that says this is all the information to do with my For example, contact and lead list. Okay. So what we can do here is we can create a table that basically, when we connect the two tables, right? And I'm not going to do this on stream just because it's going to ask me for like my Notion token and everything. But basically, when you connect the tables, instantly you can make sure that all the chili pepper form entries, right? Which I'm going to show again. For example, the name, inquiry, contact, and phone. So let's just do that: name, inquiry, contact, and phone. So maybe we can make this email instead of contact, email. And basically what happens is that all these things can flow into your Notion database and make it easy for you to be able to go and look through your past and see when everybody submitted any information. So what we can do also, since I just mentioned that, is also do a created on, right? So then we can see that created time. So we can see that when this was created on. So then you can have basically a record of everybody who's ever contacted you and the follow-ups that you did, the different conversations that you had, just really fleshing this out and making this really nice and seamless for you to manage anybody who's coming in and essentially nurture your leads. For this example, I'm just going to use the email connection. Again, they have a login interface, so you don't even need to worry about it. You can come in here after and connect to a Notion table once you're ready. For this, I'm just going to put a random like forms@conradlin.com just as an example. It doesn't really matter. But basically, I'm going to enter an email address. So I'm going to just use, actually, how about this? Let's do this for Sade. Sade, can I use your email? And or email that you want to send this to, the submissions?
Sure. Yeah. SADEARYL@gmail.com.
Did I spell that right? ARYEL?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And then I'm going to just make sure you have this for the next one as well. Perfect. User was not found in database, fix error. What does that mean? Interesting. There seems to be a bug with chili pepper right now. I'll tell the team. Anyway, normally that doesn't happen. And I'm not sure why. What error is this? Okay, well, unfortunately I can't show you the chili pepper step, but basically there's a lot of online resources you can go and find out. I personally also made a video on how you can use chili pepper inside your website. But the whole idea is that after you are able to do all that, you're actually going to be having a form, and I'll just snip it just so that we can have an example of how it looks if someone does want to make this for themselves. So I'm going to just copy an image of this and then put it into the site just as an example. So I'm going to go to Hi Sade, and I'm just going to put in this little section. So I'm going to make a toggle here, contact form option, and then in the contact form option we can put a screenshot of, for example, how it will look for a contact form option, which I think is pretty cool. All right, awesome. Let's do some comparisons, shall we? I think that's the really fun part of this, and we can really showcase how everything looks, especially to a public user. So I'm going to share to web, and essentially I'm not going to allow duplication, but I'm going to allow search engine indexing. So I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to actually open this up in an incognito window so that it shows up as if I'm reading it like live. So let me see if I can do that here. So I'll make sure I can still screen share if I'm doing that. Let's just double check. So we have here our big window capture. Let's see. Perfect, it does work. Okay, so this is Sade's site right now. This is showing you exactly how it looks, and you can see above the fold, right? And again, I think most websites, actually I'm going to use something called inspect element. I'll show you what this does. Basically it shows you like how pages look in different resolutions, so that you can really just see exactly like how your page might look. So For example, if I want to show in mobile, I'm going to refresh. If I want to show how it looks like on mobile, this is going to be how it looks like, okay? So you can see, hi, I'm Sade. My passions are sustainability, community, and travel. You can find on social media. So already it looks beautiful because when you're first landing on, you can already see that this is above the fold. This is what's about you. So you can see a nice picture of Sade. They can see like some highlights of what she's doing right now. They can see some of the different experiences she has. Maybe for mobile, we might want to re-look at how this looks. Maybe this becomes on the top instead of the bottom. Really, it's up to you how you want to organize this. You can see all your experiences, so you can see everything here, all the different experiences you might have. More about me, you can read more about Sade. You can also schedule her time, which is going to be using a Calendly link. Right now I'm in incognito mode, so then it might a little slower, perfect. But you can then see how you can load everything and schedule a time with her, which I think is awesome. Now, if I want to show you guys a responsive, so I want to show you like a normal screen size, so 1920 by 1080, I'm going to refresh this so that it refreshes completely, so it's out of the mobile view. And you can see that in this video, or in this page, you can see that all this stuff is above the fold. You can see that this is all about Sade. Her experience is showcased very nicely here. You can also see all her other experiences, and you can learn more about her, and then you can schedule her time. What do you think, Sade?
I love it. It looks amazing.
Awesome. I do also want to showcase a few of the other examples that are being posted in chat, like Drew's, because I think that we could definitely learn something. But we're actually right on 1 hour. We're exactly right on 1 hour. I'm so excited because in 1 hour we were able to build everything that we had discussed today in what we plan to do. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, I don't know why this is not working. Drew, your website is, I'm not able to go to it. Let's see, maybe it's the HTTP. There we go. Okay, so Drew's site, which we built a while back together, also shows a very detailed kind of look and feel. I really love how he has an updated thing. Maybe we should do that. I think the updated looks really nice. What do you think, Sade? Updated is pretty good. So you know like how late up to date it is. You can see product demos, which is awesome, right? You can see portfolios. I love it. Like different skill sets that you have. I think that's really awesome. Demo videos, courses that he's taking. Again, I think the interesting thing is, so this reflects like how I used to think about these kind of sites. Like I think full width definitely shows a lot of content. I think it's great. But you can definitely see like how you might consider something that's more fixed width that just becomes really clean. You can just really see exactly what you want to demonstrate and showcase to your potential employer or potential audience, and you can just make things very clean and concise, and each section isn't too cluttered. Whereas for this example, you can kind of see like, I don't know if my eye should go left or should go right. Am I watching a video, or am I looking at a experience? Am I looking at this portfolio? Like I get a bit lost into here, and that's just because everything's just all over the place. So my recommendation for now, like my critique for it, and thanks Drew for giving the confidence that I could, the critique for it is definitely like consider making it into like a fixed width page, because then you'll be able to have each section be really clear and concise, and I know what I'm reading. My eye doesn't have to wander everywhere. Again, my example here is that I'm very clear, this is about me. Wow, I can read this. I don't need to be focused on anything else. This is all Sade's experiences. Great, don't have to focus on anything else. And this is exactly everything above her fold. So I think that's really cool as well. Sade, let's add the last two things that we just talked about here, which is we want to showcase the last updated, and also I was considering adding a cover image. What do you think? Do you have a cover image of you that's a bit more landscape instead of portrait?
Yeah, no, I don't have one of those.
Okay.
One thing I don't have.
So maybe I'll just add like a cover that screams sustainability, or maybe just like or even like this color looks actually pretty nice.
It really does.
Yeah. Okay, let's just see if blue works, because we have using blue elsewhere. No, but I think this beige is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, the beige looks pretty nice. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add a last updated. So let's add a caption here. that we say last updated, which is February 20th, 2021. Okay. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty much. We also saw that earlier the new experience showed up, and I want to show you guys how to hide this for the viewer, but not hide it for the editor. And this is a really cool hack, okay? I want you guys to watch me as I do this. So I'm going to go into the portfolio website page. Again, I separated the back end and the front end for a reason, and this is the exact reason, is that the back end, what we have here is, we're going to make a page called private blocks, okay? We're going to call this private blocks. And I'm going to paste this here, this new experience, and I'm going to copy a link for this, okay? I'm going to make sure that this sharing permission is off so nobody can see the sharing permission. I'm going to go back to hi, I'm Sade, and then I'm going to paste only a part of that URL into here. So I'm going to show you what part of that URL I'm going to paste, okay? So if I just paste this here, this is not going to work. I actually want to remove everything before the hashtag. So right here, I'm going to remove all of that. And then I'm going to copy this again. And then I'm going to make sure that I only have this. I'm going to link to page. So now what happens is I can still press this new experience and I can still generate something new that's in exactly the same format. But if I go to the public view, so again, I'm going to switch my view to my incognito to show my public view, and I refresh the page here, actually, the public viewer does not see that block. That block is not there. But as the editor, you can actually see the template block so you can generate more and more things, and you can make sure that the editing, the back-end editing and the front end is completely separate. That's actually a really big concept, and I don't know how better to explain that. But that's a huge concept that's going to help you immensely as you build more and more things within Notion, because it makes it easy for you to learn exactly how you can hide certain information on public sites by having a linked block to a page, to a block that's on a page that's actually private from view. If you're confused by that at all, just rewatch this video and you'll get it. But basically, I'm just leveraging the idea of global blocks to ensure that we can not only use global blocks, but also make them permission-based global blocks, which I think is a really, really cool hack, and you should definitely try it out. Of course, the next steps you could do is put it onto something called Fruition, which is a utility that lets you put your Notion sites onto a custom domain. But if you don't have a custom domain yet, which not everybody would have, maybe Shadi, I'll ask you, do you have a custom domain?
It's linked to a Wix page, so no.
Okay, so you don't have a custom domain, right? So what you could do, right, I want to show you guys this, is if you don't have the money to buy a custom domain, because again, if you're students and you're just trying to get by and you're just trying to get hired and you don't want to spend too much money on this, definitely I would recommend this way, which makes it completely free. You can go to something called Bitly. So bit.ly.com, and basically it's a link shortener. And what you can do is you can shorten a link. So let's say I want to shorten this Notion link. I'm going to paste this Notion link here. I'm going to shorten it. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize this link. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to customize this link. And they don't let you do free anymore. What are you talking about? There's a free, yeah. So I'm going to get started for free. And I don't want to pay. How do I set for free? Out here. Okay, so even getting for free is hard. Sade, do you want me to make an account for you quickly, just to show everybody else? And obviously, yeah, because I already have an account. I want to make an account for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to use Sade. Do you have a nickname or a username that you want to use here?
Sade, SADEARYEL.
ARYEL.
Tell me if I said that too fast.
Yeah. That's your email, right? So that's just your @gmail.com. For a password, I'm going to keep that secret, obviously. And I'll tell you about it later. But basically, I can sign up. We can do this little thing. Again, I'm just showing you the process because I think it's important. There is no fire hydrant here. Oh, this username is in use. Oh, you already have one. You have an account already.
That's me. I guess I've never used it before.
Okay.
Maybe try a different username. I know I do not have a Gmail account with Bitly. There's no way.
Well, it says you do, but I think it's fine. Let me just quickly make a account for myself then, perhaps, and then I'll just show you.
I also have a Yahoo account.
Okay, do you want to try Yahoo? Yahoo.com. And then shall
Thanks.
I? Well, just add a number at the end of this.
Yep. Okay.
One. I don't know. Okay, all chimneys. Let's go. And this is the last step, guys. I'm just showing you like how you might want to publish and share your site with other people. So it'll be really fun. Crosswalks. Let's go here. Okay, perfect. I'm going to not save that for now. I'm going to just grab this link. I'm going to take out this part of the link just so that it's cleaner. I'm going to shorten this. Okay, so we're going to make this link shorter, right? So we can call it Sade. Let's see if Sade works. Sade works. Oh my god, amazing. Sade's website. Okay, so what we do is save. It's taken already. What would you want your URL to be?
Just add the REL and see if that works.
Yeah, sorry. Am I spelling that?
ARYE.
Yeah, ARYEL. Okay, let's create. Awesome. So now what happens, and everybody at home can also try, is I'm going to paste the link right there. And when you guys go and go to this link, this bit.ly, it's going to automatically go to this Notion page from now on, so that you don't even need to purchase a custom domain to link to the sites and go through the whole process of fruition, you know, and again, I have a whole video on that. But you can already start hosting your site for free with Notion on a Notion domain, and you can just use this link redirector to be able to redirect yourself to go to this page. And I think that's just really, really awesome. And of course, I can also lock this page in case I accidentally edit it anymore, which makes it so that you can see it as if you were reading it from a user perspective. And yeah, everything's done there. You have any questions, Sade? Anything you want to add?
No, I feel like the coolest thing I learned from this was that whole world's blocks thing, because I didn't even know about that. And that's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, so if you're ever interested in adding more functionality to the site by adding like a custom domain, by integrating with Google Analytics, by adding even a chatbot in the bottom right of the form, just check out my other video. It's also completely free. It just takes a bit more extra steps, but you can kind of see like within 1 hour, just 1 hour, you can make your own personal site. It can look pretty like this. You can have your own custom take on it because now you know exactly how to edit a Notion page to make it very beautiful, very performance, very functional for yourself to use. And of course, for everyone watching today, you can also get this template for free. I'm going to be releasing a blog about this on Sunday, so stay tuned. Join our community if you haven't done so already, and just stay tuned on this video. Like and leave a comment if you want the template for yourself, and I'll make sure you get a copy when the release comes on Sunday. Okay, thank you everybody for joining me today, especially Sade. Sade, you are awesome, and I really appreciated having you on and working with you and being able to build such an awesome site together with you. I hope it works well for you. I hope you use it lots, and also I hope that it serves as inspiration for your next site that you're going to be building, that's going to be on your custom site builder. So thank you everybody for joining, and thank you, Sade. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Thanks for having me.